The New York Giants pulled off the upset victory 21-20 over those Tennessee Titans to open the 2022 NFL season, and they did it on the back of their star running back, Saquon Barkley. But so much credit has to go to offensive coordinator Mike Kafka, first-time play caller Mike Kafka. I mean, the New York Giants, they varied their rushing attack, and they took advantage of the Tennessee Titans defense. The Giants ranked second in the NFL in terms of rushing efficiency according to EPA. So you love to see that. Let's get into some of these rushing plays right now. The Giants rushed for 238 yards against the Tennessee Titans. Saquon Barkley with 164 of those yards, and collectively they averaged 7.4 yards per carry. And this play we're about to go over is the first play of the second half. Most of the damage done on the ground by the Giants was in the second half. So let's look at the Titans defense. The Titans aligned a lot like this, with two big linemen in the interior parts, three technique to the strength. You can see the tight end behind Bud Dupree there, and then the one technique to the backside. And this is the path at the snap of these players. You have the one technique penetrating the A gap. You have the three technique penetrating the B gap to the play side. And Bud Dupree slants hard inside directly at Andrew Thomas, which is important because that allows the pin pull concept to really come to fruition with Daniel Bellinger's block, which we'll see here in a little bit. It's going to be a pin pull concept. You're going to have Andrew Thomas pin the three technique. You're going to have Daniel Bellinger pin Bud Dupree, which it's made easy because he has this hard inside slant coming, like we said right there. And then it's really just going to be on Mark Lewinsky to just harass this one technique enough to not track Saquon Barkley from the backside. And what that's going to allow you to do now with John Feliciano uncovered, because this is a little bit more of a 2-eye than it is a one technique, so I should say 2-eye, you're going to pull Feliciano and you're going to pull Josh Azudu, the play side guard, G lead, with the center also pulling. So you have two pullers in space with two down blockers washing the end man on the line of scrimmage and this player down. And that's going to leave a lot of small bodies against a lot of big bodies. Let's watch. Here we go. Also, note that jet motion. That'll come up a little bit later. You see the pin, you see the pulls, you see the block, and that just isolates Saquon Barkley against Amani Hooker. And Saquon Barkley is going to erase that angle every single damn time. Let's go through it one more time. Slants hard inside. Daniel Bellinger, easy block right there. Andrew Thomas meets Jeffrey Simmons, and you can see both center, play side guard, they open up, and there's no one to penetrate there as long as Glowinski can get enough of this player to allow Saquon Barkley to not get tracked down from the backside. Luckily, Daniel Jones kind of executing a little play fake a little bit. 93 pays right attention to him right there, and he doesn't even have to worry about that. Glowinski just kind of runs right after, doesn't get called for holding here, which you love. But I love how you isolate these smaller defenders right here against these two barreling scumbags. And it works out because the Titans slanted so hard inside with Bud Dupree. But all Azudu has to do is force Christian Fulton to go upfield. And that's exactly what happens. Christian Fulton can't locate the athletic ability and the superior nature of a running back like Saquon Barkley. Then that isolates Zach Cunningham against John Feliciano. Feliciano does a great job locating, drives him into the ground, and like I said, it just comes down to Saquon Barkley and Hooker. Hooker takes a bad angle, does not anticipate the burst, the explosiveness, the acceleration of Saquon Barkley, who hits the hole and then tries to also mess with Kevin Byard's angle here by going back inside. But it doesn't really work. Byard has a really good angle there. Byard's a great football player. But you'll love this run, and this was also an adjustment because you did not see double pullers in the first half, other than the quarterback counter that was run. So it was adjustment at halftime, and it was ran on the first play of the half by the New York Giants. That was the 68-yard run to kick off the half, and this is the 33-yard run in the fourth quarter. And we're going to see that same front, right? You have a three technique to the strong side where the tight end is. You have a 2-eye to the backside. Only this time, the Tennessee Titans are going to gap exchange, which kind of works in the favor of the New York Giants, which we'll break down. They're also going to drop the end man on the line of scrimmage into a hook. So what we're going to get here is you're going to get the down block from Andrew Thomas. You're going to get the G lead. The play side guard is going to pull. You're going to get the center pulled. He's over the bubble. No one's over the top of him. This is not a one technique. It's a 2-eye, so he can pull. He does not have to worry about any kind of immediate penetration. And you're going to have Daniel Bellinger climb to locate the linebacker. So let's watch this. Also, pay attention to Mark Lewinsky here. He is a pivotal part of this blocking concept. And it's all because Mark Lewinsky's mental processing and ability to adjust. Jet motion again. Pay attention to it. And look how these blocks unfolded to spring this run. And Saquon ends up coughing that up. Luckily, Giants get a break and it goes out of bounds. But let's check this out, okay? Because you had that same rushing play, right? Play side guard, center, both pull. Andrew Thomas blocks down. You can see what I mean by gap exchange, because he's aligned in the B gap, aligned in the A gap. He's going to slant this way, going to slant this way. And what that does here for Mark Lewinsky is you can see as Mark Lewinsky leans into this, like he's going to try to make contact, right? He's expecting contact from the 2-eye, but the 2-eye slants. So what does Mark Lewinsky do? He recollects his balance and he just runs to the play side. And I absolutely love this. Look, he's about to square up this linebacker right here. But he sees Daniel Bellinger has a better angle, so he adjusts. You can see it. He's processing it right now. So he comes off of that, gets out of Bellinger's way, and then just locates that safety. And look at that block. Look how pivotal that is. Saquon Barkley just squeezes right in between it. Bellinger also does a good job here. Probably could have got called for holding there, but it's not the most egregious thing in the world, and I'm glad it wasn't called. But don't you love to see that from Mark Lewinsky? And I don't want to take shots at Will Hernandez right here, but there's no way Will Hernandez is covering that much ground, getting from here all the way over here to locate this player. There's no way that's happening. That is an excellent block by Mark Lewinsky. And if we look at the play side here, Andrew Thomas blocks down. You have Daniel Bellinger act like he's going to take on this player. And this is a smart play here because it's very tempting for Bellinger to take on 41 here. 41 can come in this direction. If he scrapes over the top, it's going to be on the guard or the center to take him. No one's going to block the end man on the line of scrimmage, Nico Autry. That's 475 to come, the lead blocker, and kick him out. That's the kick out block. And then it's on John Feliciano to take on 41 right here, Zach Cunningham. So 82 says, I'll take that safety and eliminate him. And then somehow Lewinsky gets over there to take out the other safety. And then you have Christian Fulton standing here just way out of the play. Saquon Barkley hits the hole and gets vertical. And you love to see it, man. This is such a cohesive unit. And it might not always be by the rule book because it's not here. Like Mark Lewinsky, no one thought he was going to be the player to make the block on 37, but he was there. And Saquon, that hole, look at it. Drive a train through it right there. And again, one reason why there was such a huge hole is because of the gap exchange too, with Jeffrey Simmons shooting inside and working to the Giants' favor. But Andrew Thomas ends up just eliminating him there. Saquon Barkley sees the hole, puts his foot in the ground right there, waits for these blocks to develop. They're all there. And this is not something that we saw at all. Look at Kenny Golladay. He has all those questions about his willingness. He's sprinting downfield right here to match 21. Also like to see that. So again, another play of double pullers having success in the second half, an adjustment by Kafka. That was also based on what the Tennessee Titans were doing. This was one of the best runs from the New York Giants in the first half. And look, on the backside of the play, here's the strong side, right? You have that 3 technique, a little bit more of a 4-eye technique. Here, it's not a 2-eye, it's a 1. So John Feliciano is not uncovered. He does not pull. So what the Giants are going to do, they're going to pull the backside guard here. That is Joshua Ezeudu. They're going to get him going. As you can see right here, Saquon Barkley springs this run. Daniel Bellinger is definitely holding Rashad Weaver here. You can see it right there. Yeah, he's got a nice little dug in the jersey. Got away with one. That's like 2, actually, in this video. But it's all good. But the Titans are going to get aggressive with Long Jr. He's going to penetrate. And you're going to have John Feliciano block down on the 1 technique. Glowinski has his eyes up on 51, sees that he's coming. He doesn't even help with 95. You have Evan Neal just take 95 as Ezeudu just comes right around, and Zach Cunningham penetrates. He reads the run key, right? He sees what's happening. Ezeudu does such a good job here, just kind of making contact with that arm and then swiveling his hips around. And this is the upside stuff that Ezeudu has. Yeah, he was getting bullied a little bit in pass protection. We'll go over a play later that was absolutely excellent on the goal line that I'm sure a lot of people have already seen. But he pulled a lot at UNC. Skip pulls like this, just comes off the line of scrimmage, and watch him locate. He locates him, and he swivels his hips around. Makes contact, swivel your hips. Look at that footwork right there. Absolutely creates a crease right there for Saquon Barkley to get around Rashad Weaver. Daniel Bellinger, look, Rashad Weaver's a lot bigger than Daniel Bellinger is. So the fact that he was even able to hold up like this is impressive enough for a rookie in his debut. That hold, you don't want to see that because that's going to get flagged a lot of the time. But this was the most successful run in the first half by the New York Giants. A similar type of concept. It is power gap. It is a pin pull type of concept. Strong side boundary counter to be specific. It's only 1 puller, and it's the backside guard. It's not the play side guard like we saw before. So there are adjustments that happen, but also this is a different defensive front, and a lot of adjustments are based on what the defense is showing you, and that's what good offensive coordinators do. They change their approach based on the defensive look and the defensive intention. Good, nice run by Saquon Barkley right here. This is the play after Saquon Barkley's 68-yard run. The Giants are not scared to run to the weak side, and this is not designed to go to the weak side, but Matt Breida bounces it in that direction. But look at how the Titans play this, because the Giants have been running strong side, and they pull Mark Lewinsky here. And watch Zach Cunningham go and meet Daniel Bellinger. Watch 51 point there. Everyone's pointing in that direction because the Titans are now trying to overcompensate for the fact that they're getting beat by strong side runs, as we can see here. But Matt Breida notices this. And this is different, as you can tell. This was in the counter where, like we saw last time, where Saquon Barkley did this. Instead, this is more of a zone read type of look, but I don't really see Daniel Jones reading anybody here. I think this was just going to be a handoff no matter what to Matt Breida. And you can see the backside guard pulling the lead block. Titans play it very, very aggressively. Matt Breida reads it, and he bounces it. Bounces it to the weak side. Uses the defense being over-aggressive against them. And I love what he does to Long here in the hole. Get around him, pick up extra yards. I think this was like a 9-yard gain by Matt Breida. And he presses the line of scrimmage here. Because look, his path is supposed to be in this direction, following his blockers. You see how Titans are playing it? He attacks the midline, and then just goes like he's going to go right into that B gap right there. 51 quickly fills. Breida gets 51 to come up to the line of scrimmage, and then Breida just bounces it around Evan Neal's block. Evan Neal does a really good job there, taking care of that defensive lineman. But right here, man, the fact that Breida presses the line of scrimmage like this, that gets 51 close to the line of scrimmage and it allows Breida to bounce around Evan Neal's block, and there's no way 51 can make a tackle here. So Breida, just that savvy, smart running right there, that might have allowed him, I should say, to pick up an extra like 7 yards here, just being a smart, wily veteran. Good rushing instincts there. Now here's the play on the goal line that we absolutely love now. We'll go over this one. This is a fun one. So right here, you just have single back. The Giants motion Sterling Shepard to be a wide receiver insert on this play to block. This is something that they did a lot down the stretch of the game as well, and Sterling Shepard was pretty excellent in this role. So you're just going to have duo blocking. You're just going to form double teams on 98, form double teams on 97, get hip to hip. You can see both of these players right here. They get hip to hip on these, on the ace block here, and the deuce block. Ace is center guard. Deuce is tackle guard. So you can see that. It's great blocks right there, combo blocks. And you have Evan Neal with Bud Dupree. You're going to have Sterling Shepard going to pick up Kevin Byard right here. So you have nice blocks up front, but Saquon Barkley reads this so well. And we're going to go over the king block right here, the best block in the game. Rookie Joshua Ezeudu off the combo block. But Feliciano, you can see Feliciano's smart. Feliciano has his eyes up on Long. He sees him penetrating the A-gap. He comes off this combo and says, "It's all yours, Rook. It's all yours, Joshua Ezeudu." And look how Joshua Ezeudu keeps these feet moving and just drives 97 into the ground. This is such a big boy block. This is gigantic. And I said on podcasts before that if this was at MetLife Stadium right here, Joshua Ezeudu is burying 97, and 97 is taking a nap with Jimmy Hoffa. That's how good of a block this is by the rookie out of UNC, the third-round pick, Joshua Ezeudu. Look how much strength and power he gets out of this. Yeah, it's an initial combo, but Feliciano comes off this, and Ezeudu just absolutely capitalizes on it. Look at that torque. He has his hands inside. He has vice grips for hands, and he's just driving off his feet to just put him into the deck. I absolutely love seeing that. And then, almost as impressive, out here against Bud Dupree, you have Andrew Thomas, top 5 offensive tackle in the NFL. Andrew Thomas handling Bud Dupree here. Look, he just meets him at the point of attack. Look how narrow this is right here. This is pretty narrow, you know, before Josh Ezeudu absolutely just destroys Strong here. But watch how Andrew Thomas keeps his feet moving, and he drives Bud Dupree off the spot there. Like, this is one of the best blocking plays I've seen from the New York Giants, and it's in a high leverage, important spot on the field. And I haven't seen something like this in a very long time. And you love the blocking, and you love the fact that Saquon Barkley felt the combo block and knew to cut back off of Joshua Ezeudu's ass and in between the highway that is this B gap between Ezeudu and Andrew Thomas. And then he finishes strong, gets that touchdown. Look at the emotion from Saquon Barkley, man. You deserve that. That was an excellent play all around from the New York Giants. Here's an impressive run in the fourth quarter on that final drive by the New York Giants. It's going to be another wide receiver insert motion. Look, man, Mike Kafka used motion on 38 of 58 plays. That is a stark difference from what we saw with Jason Garrett as the offensive coordinator. And that alone is refreshing, let alone all the other little nuanced things that we covered at Big Blue View. But here, we're going to have Saquon Barkley single back. You got Sterling Shepard motioning inside of the C gap where Daniel Bellinger and Andrew Thomas are. If you look at the Titans front, what do we have here? You have a 3 technique to the strong side, you have a 2-eye to the weak side, and you have a lot of bodies here down in the red zone. So watch these blocks. You're going to have Andrew Thomas pin, and then you're going to have the wide receiver insert, like I said, right into the C gap. Daniel Bellinger holds up the edge right here, and then watch Saquon Barkley bounce around the block, because you get some penetration here from Jeffrey Simmons on Andrew Thomas. Joshua Ezeudu chips, and then he climbs. So you have a climbing offensive lineman to locate Zach Cunningham. The pivotal block here is Sterling Shepard, and man, does he not get the love that he deserves for being very physical in the run game. And watch how he makes contact and creates that seal and gives Saquon Barkley just a little bit of a crease to not allow Amani Hooker to make the play. And Amani Hooker is coming down towards the line of scrimmage at the time of the snap, and he's still able to make the block and then swivel his hips to create that seal. That is so damn impressive from Sterling Shepard. And then watch this by Saquon Barkley. Look how he jumps around that. Look at that jump cut, and look how tight he is with this lean that he has. Look how tight he is to the block of Andrew Thomas and where Jeffrey Simmons is. And look how low he is to the ground. Pads low, everything low. That is 2018 Saquon Barkley right there. And he reads these blocks very well. He sees the penetration. He knows he has to jump cut around it. He feels that Sterling Shepard established leverage to the inside of Amani Hooker. And he also knew that he had Josh Ezeudu climbing to the second level. So he had a lot of space here. Everybody collapses on him and he doesn't get into the end zone. But this is a nice read. It's decisive and it's very, very athletic, flexible. Any adjective that ushers praise, Saquon Barkley deserves there. That was very, very nice. And here is the touchdown pass. Now, if you just saw, if we rewind a little bit, David Sills motions inward. The Giants did that twice on the final drive, and they did it a couple other times throughout the game with Sterling Shepard. So what do you think on this 2nd and goal the Tennessee Titans believe is going to happen? They think it's going to be a handoff. And you can also see, if you pay attention to the little subtleties, look what Chris Myrick is. He's in line, right? But look at the split right there. It's a pretty big split. Why do you think that is? It's because this isn't a run. He's not tight. Those little differences like that, noticing little differences like that can go a long way in deciphering what an offense is trying to do. That's a far split right there, and we know why it's a far split. It's because the Giants do not hand the football off. Excellent play fake. Look how the Titans play. They're all going after Saquon Barkley here. And then you have 2 guys who would be open if David Sills didn't slip. Chris Myrick catches the touchdown, and you absolutely love to have that for Chris Myrick, who seems to be this just absolute threat in the red zone, right? I mean, he had the touchdown last year against the Eagles, I think it was. But watch, everybody just blocks down aggressively. You have all of these eyes on Saquon Barkley. And look, even these guys, even the players to the right, they're looking at Saquon Barkley. I feel like 85 and Sills acted like they were going to block well. Look how everybody bid on that. That is an excellent play design, excellent play call. And even things just as subtle as spacing can go a long way, because Myrick being that far outside, even though we're just talking about a couple feet here, gives him just that much more feet of separation. Touchdown. Now, I also said earlier that Mike Kafka called motion on 38 of 58 offensive plays. A lot of them were jet motion. It was to set up a play that kicked off the fourth quarter. Let's go through some of the plays that happened before the fourth quarter, though. The Kadarius Tony run is what I'm referencing, of course. You see the jet motion there. Jet motion with Richie James. Pitch it outside with 2 lead blockers. Get Saquon in space. Nice, solid run. Jet motion with Sterling Shepard. Pull the play side guard in the center. Kind of gets blown up. Somehow Matt Breida is able to make this a solid run. I think we went over. Here again, jet motion. Saquon Barkley. And he's gone. Saw this play a little bit earlier. And now here's the Kadarius Tony play. Initially, he motions this way, and then he's going to come back for the handoff. This is something, if you're the Titans defense, you've seen several times, and nothing happened. And it's obvious, you can see Daniel Jones gives him the football, and then he does a good job going into this little fake right here. But look at these eyes. Saquon Barkley, Saquon Barkley, Saquon Barkley, Saquon Barkley. The only player who really reads this is Amani Hooker, who flew down in that direction, and he probably stopped this from being a huge play. 96 is just a little bit too late, and you see Kadarius Tony with the ball in space here. And look, some of these guys are still even looking. They don't even know where the football is. They don't know where the football is. And finally, these players are playing it. And Kadarius Tony, Amani Hooker first gets outside here and just boxes Kadarius Tony back inside and occupies two blockers. Great play by Amani Hooker. But Kadarius Tony, just God-given talent, making players miss. This is what Kadarius Tony does. This dude played 7 offensive snaps, right? And we're going over 2 of his touches on this film. Yes, we'll break down one of his touches a little bit later because it's something else that Kafka set up. Kafka is very good at showing the defense looks and then actually running a play based on that look that he showed before, and the defense never anticipates it because they're used to seeing it. It's not stagnant. It's not static. It's a very fluid offense, creative offense. And damn, do we love that. Now here we're going to have a little bit of orbit motion from Kadarius Tony. He's just going to go out in the flat, and you can see how 21 reacts, paying attention to Kadarius Tony. And this just ends up being zone read. Daniel Jones is reading this defender right here, and you can see the defender pinches up. As the defender pinches up, that gives Daniel Jones the okay to keep the ball because that's the read defender. Now, if he stayed put, Daniel Jones would have handed the football off to Saquon Barkley, and now Saquon Barkley wouldn't have had to deal with the backside pursuit defender. Daniel Jones keeps the ball, just gets like a 2-yard gain, takes a hit, and I swear, Daniel Jones just takes hits sometimes. Now you're going to have that same motion, though, with Kadarius Tony. He's going to orbit around Daniel Jones, and you can see how there's a lot of space between him and the line of scrimmage because this is a double pass. And it doesn't end up working out. But I love this play for several reasons. First, because they showed the orbit motion a little bit before this. And secondly, this play was directly after the 33-yard run that we went over by Saquon Barkley before. Mike Kafka's going for the throat here. And it doesn't work out. I get it. But this defense is gassed. They have a lot on their mind. They just were chasing Saquon Barkley up and down the field. And Mike Kafka says, all right, cool. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to go for the kill shot. And I respect that about an offensive coordinator. I really do. Let's watch it one more time. Defense reacts, catches the ball. This player stops. This player didn't stop and realize what exactly was happening as Kadarius Tony went to wind up. David Sills might have been open, but you also have this player on the backside. Kadarius Tony, man, this is a really smart play by him just to tuck it and just get the kid the football because he makes plays like this all the time. He's one of the best players with the football in his hands. He really is. Hopefully he can get on the field and prove to this Giants coaching staff that he can be a full-time player. And there's a quick breakdown of the Giants' potent and efficient rushing attack in their 21-20 win over the Tennessee Titans. And look, Mike Kafka ran a lot of power gap, and those were a lot of the plays that we broke down. But he had a lot of zone read. He did a lot of unique things with his rushing attack, running to the strong side, weak side, field side, boundary. And also, I just love how he sequenced his plays. I felt like that was probably the thing that I appreciated the most about how he employed his rushing attack. He would show certain looks, that jet motion that we went over, the Kadarius Tony play, and the defense thought nothing of them because they saw him so many different times. And then he would run a play based on that motion, and it maximized the opportunity of the play, catching the defense off guard. And that's just not something that we saw consistently with the previous offensive coordinator. So I look forward to seeing Mike Kafka grow as a play caller. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Nick Filato, and this is Big Blue View. It's the Big Blue View YouTube page. Please subscribe and go on over to bigblueview.com. Check out all of our content about the New York Football Giants. Take care of each other. Let's go Giants, and have a lovely day.